Oh, geez, look at the butt on that.
Yeah. He must work out.
I think he does. I'll tell you why I'm playing that soundbite. Oh, there's two reasons. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know. Brace for impact. It's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. Hey, what's up? It's DeHuff. Another episode of DeHuff Uncensored. As I'm recording this, it's the end of Labor Day weekend, and we just got a bunch to throw at you. Can't wait to get into it. But real quick, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And remember, today's show is presented to you by High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge, and of course, Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. In fact, Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. And if you think you know your stuff, you got to check out Bet Online's $200,000 mega contest. Mega contest. Pew, pew, pew. And pick 5 games against the spread every single week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of that $200,000. Now, when the games are all over, head on over to their online casino, get in on the game of blackjack or poker, or even unwind with one of their over 150 slot games. Go to betonline.ag right now to get in on the action. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. In fact, before we jump into all the headlines, before we start this thing rolling, got to catch you up. Like I said, it's Labor Day weekend. Now, if I get my shit straight today, I made a post saying that I wasn't going to release this until Tuesday, but I think I might be able to get my shit going because we just got back from Estes Park. It's been a very busy weekend, but I think I'll be able to post this by later, this afternoon on Monday. I don't know. Got a lot of plans. Think we're going to Topgolf, which is going to be embarrassing for me as usual. But like I said, it was a busy weekend before I really started doing anything as far as fun. I was reminded that I have a fear of heights. I had to climb up on my roof because a gutter was clogged, and then also I had to get on there and fix like when we had a hailstorm, it like jacked up some of the shutters, and there was like something broken, and I was like, I basically need to push it back in. And I climb up there with a ladder, and as soon as I put my feet on the roof, I'm like, this is a bad idea. Bad idea. I'm already like, I'm shaking, and I'm like, and here's the thing with, if you have a fear of heights, it's not that you're afraid to be up. It's the fact that you understand that it's very easy to go back down. You're afraid of the fall is what it is. I could be up there and appreciate the beauty of it. I'm not scared to be high up. I'm scared to be high up and fall down. That's what it is, okay? Pretty simple. So I'm up there, and what's funny, it's not like I have a huge fucking roof either. I'm thinking it's maybe where I was at, maybe 15 feet. Maybe. Maybe. So I'm up there, and first of all, it's blazing hot. So I get up across, I'm on all fours, basically climbing up to where I need to get because I'm above the garage. And I fix whatever thing I had to do. And I'm like, oh God. And I turn around and I'm like, I don't want to stand up because I'm afraid that I'm like, did I make a bad decision? A lot of the reason being, do I have enough grip on my shoes? I'm like, shit, what if I stand up and I just slide? Then I'm like thinking in my head, okay, if I slide, I'm going to have to just, project myself out and try to land on the grass. And then I'm thinking, then I'll have to try to roll so I don't have a complete impact on my legs or my face, stuff like that. That's what's going through my head. And I'm like shaking. Keep in mind, the kids are at school at this point. And my wife's inside. Thank God she didn't peek out the window because I was like right outside her window. She's like, hey, what's going on? Ah! Smack. Anyway, that's how Daddy died. So I finally get the courage and I'm like sliding down on my butt to the ladder because I'm afraid to stand up. And I'm like, oh God. And then I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. How the fuck do I get on the ladder? Because I'm afraid to stand up. And it listen, I I have the utmost respect for anybody that has to get on a roof on a regular basis. Whether you're a roofer, whether you're a gutter person that replaces gutters, or you're somebody that does AC units and all this other stuff. There's so many things that involve getting on roofs. I respect the shit out of you because I can't fucking do it. I am a giant pussy when it comes to that, right? So I'm sitting there trying to rack my brain, like, what is my foot movement gonna be in order to get on back on the ladder? And I finally figure it out. And as I'm trying to go down the rings of the ladder, I realize, fuck, my my shorts are caught on the on the top of the ladder. And I'm like, this is how it's gonna end. Oh my God, I'm gonna die. It was terrible. And I'm like, the whole time, my heart is just going nuts. I thank God I didn't have a fucking heart attack. Like that, I can see why people have heart attacks on ladders now. Because that shit, that's legit. So I finally get my pants unstuck, right? And I make it down. Swear to God, a little TMI moment for you. I had diarrhea right after that. That's how bad it scared me. Now, all you construction people or people that have no, you know, you know, idea how to wrap your mind around why the fuck that would scare you, fuck you. Fuck you all, okay? Fuck you for judging me. Oh my God. It was so bad. I didn't tell my wife that part. I want her to have some respect for me. Just if she ever says, "Hey, can you go back on the roof and fix this?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I would, but I tweaked my back. I have this thing. I can't do it. I would. Oh yeah, I would." What's funny too, real quick before we move on, I I was telling somebody the other day, my buddy Grant, and I was like, "You know what's crazy?" Because I was telling him this story. I was like, "What's crazy is when I was a kid, right around my son's age, right around 11, my brother and I would get on our roof at our house, which was much higher than that. We used to be stapling Christmas lights up onto the peak of the house, no problem. Now, no. Now I'm full of the knowledge of what happens if you fall. Plus, back then, if you fall, you're younger, it's easier to bounce back. Now, dude, I could fall from 5 feet and it could be the end. Could be the end. But yeah, that's how my weekend started. Then we went to Water World, an amazing water park in Colorado, and it's probably the best in Colorado. There's some other things around Colorado, some hotels and whatever that have like water things, but Water World by far is the king. But I hadn't been there since I don't know, maybe like 15 years ago, pre-kids. So I'm there with my son. He and I kind of wander off for a little bit on our own, just him and I. And one of the first thing we do is you can go down. Basically, it's like a magic carpet. You put your hands. Um, there's like handles on this like blue carpet thing, and you go down this wet slide, and it's fun, right? Right? A whole bunch of fun except for if you got balls. And if you got big balls, you know what I'm saying. Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying. Well, maybe not all of you, but some of you. But so I go down it and I'm like halfway through and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. Whatever it was, my nuts just smashed the slide. And I'm like, fuck you, God. And as soon as I get off, I'm like, my fucking nuts. The lifeguard, she's just looking at me like, what the fuck? And I kid you not, it smashed the shit out of my nuts. I was like, I don't know if that's supposed to happen. Okay. Am I the only one?
Am I the only one that goes to Waterworld and gets owies on his nuts because they so big? Maybe the fellas that don't have the problem, they got little bitty marble type balls, little testes. And my testes are more of the bowling ball size. So I think that's where we at is I got big balls. I am all balls when I'm going down those slides. Fucking hurt. Oh my god, I was pissed. I was so pissed off. And then I tell my son, I was like, dude, that hurt my nuts. And he's like, I was like, dude, one day, you're gonna understand, and you will not laugh, not laugh. And then I went down a slide with my daughter, and when I'm about halfway through, actually a little bit, I'm like 3/4 of the way. Then all of a sudden, um, the water hit my shorts just right, and it pulled my shorts down like a quarter of the way, if not halfway down, right? But on just my butt end, and so then it launches us out, and there's lifeguards there waiting to help us out of the tubes. And I just go, "I am so sorry." And the ladies were, like, sweet, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, sir, blah, 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 it's fine." They didn't know what I was talking about. They thought I was just apologizing because it was taking me a minute to get out. I was trying to pull up my pants, but I couldn't. And I say it again, they're like, "It's fine." And then they see what I'm actually talking about as I stand up and then was able to pull up my pants because just the way the luck of the draw for them is the only way I could stand up and fix myself was my ass essentially directed towards them, and then they're like, "Oh, it's fine." You know, they're basically I'm guessing they're trying to set up a therapy appointment right now because they saw my nasty ass literally in their face. So that was fun. We thought a lady died on the what is that? The lazy river. Apparently that happens all the time. People think that people die. We were talking to a lifeguard that we know, and they're like, "Dude, it scares the shit out of me because we see people just passed out, and you can't tell what the fuck is going on." So this lady, she's just drifting down lazy river like you're supposed to, but she's passed out. Her face is sunburned, and her mouth is wide open. Yet it doesn't look like she's breathing because there's like 3 or 4 of us. We're looking at her and like it doesn't look like she's breathing. And you're like, and I'm sitting there going, I said to my wife, I was like, should I go like poke her? What am I supposed to do? And there's a lifeguard. I was like, hey, can you check on her? She doesn't seem right. And the lifeguard who probably barely gets paid anything is just like the most timid whistle ever. Like, "Beep. Gross. She might be dead." Ugh. I was like, no, really check on her. She might not be okay. And then she does a little bit more of a whistle, but not much. I was like, oh my God, seriously. And I was like, ma'am, are you okay? And then all of a sudden the lady does this, the one that we thought was dead. Her eyes were closed, and all of a sudden she goes, hey. And then she has this big old grin on her face, and she's how's it going? She's just looking at everybody. I was like, I thought you were dead. And she's like, nah, I was just sound asleep. It's nice to have no kids around. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Kids, that's what you do to your parents. We get an escape from you, and it looks like we're dead because we're just so exhausted. So that was fascinating. Plus, there was also thongs everywhere. That was hard. As a married man and also trying to be respectful to women, it's very frustrating when you ladies go to a water park and you're wearing thongs because it's hard not to stare. Doesn't matter how in shape you are. You can't help but look at them. You're like, well, that's what her ass looks like. Okay? And when you got a thong, it's like there's nothing left to the imagination. Very frustrating as a man that enjoys a woman's ass. Okay? Very frustrating. Fuck you ladies for doing that to me. Very frustrating. And then I just got back this morning from Estes Park, a beautiful place. If you're from out of town, if you ever want a good place to go visit in Colorado, Estes Park, a great choice. They have KOAs up there if you want to camp and whatever. And that there's a lot of shops over there. We stayed at the Stanley Hotel, and it was one of the newer parts of the Stanley, and it was very beautiful. I highly recommend it. And what was funny is we met some family members up there, and we drove further up the mountain. And my wife's uncle is driving, and we go up to some, I can't remember, it's like Rainbow something lookout, right? And so we pull up there, and we're looking out over the canyon essentially in this beautiful valley, and it was really nice. But as soon as I step out of the car, I'm waiting for my kids to get out, and I'm just kind of, listen, I got to be honest. I couldn't help what I just dished out. And this is where that opening soundbite comes to play. I lean up against the truck, and I have my thumb in my pocket, really sending out the vibes, okay? I'm like, yeah, hey. And all of a sudden, this guy who was in his like 60s or 70s says, I swear to fucking God, uh, just totally out of the blue. He goes, what's it going to take to get you out of those shorts? And I'm like, what? What? And he just smiles. He's like, you're a lot prettier than I am. And I'm like thinking, is that like a weird quote from a movie that I don't know about? Because I feel like I just got hit on at 11,000 feet in front of my family. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? So now, real quick, before we move into headlines, I got to tell you this. So I posted that because I wanted to get some of your reactions on it. Because, listen, it's not every day that I get hit on by fellas. But it's not the first time. We can talk about that later. But this is what John wrote. DeHuff equals thirst trap. Oh, yeah. I can't help it, fellas. Whoop, whoop. I said it's a blessing. Or I said it's a curse. And then John replied back and said it's a blessing and a curse. See, Kyle wrote, I know, he put that meme of that, hi. What is that? That Mr. Herbert or whatever from Family Guy. Oh, come on over. Let's play Tickle Fight. That guy. Mike wrote, you got game, DeHuff. I do. Well, I can't help it, man. It just pours out of my pores. Huh? It pours out of my pores. Is that the way you do it? It seeps out of my pores. How about that? Reverend Matthew said, dude was dredging the barrel today. Yeah. I can't argue that. That dude has some low standards. He's like, wow, he's got a dick. Aye. Michael wrote, oxygen is pretty thin at 11,000 feet. Dude was obviously not thinking straight about how good you actually look. Fuck you, okay? That really hurt my feelings, Michael. I felt pretty for just a moment, okay? Just a moment, and you ruined it. I want to feel pretty again. Oh, my God. That used to happen to me all the time. I swear, not all the time. I was working at Chipotle, and this guy on the other side of the counter that was working with me, I'm like filling up guacamole and putting them in the little containers for chips and guac. And he's looking at me and he's like blushing. And I'm like totally naive to what's going on. And I was like, what's wrong? Why do you keep looking at me funny? What do I have something on my face? Do I have like a booger or something? And he goes, no, mi nervioso. And I'm like, what's, and not even thinking. I'm just not even trying to figure out what nervioso means, right? And I go to one of the ladies. I was like, what does that mean? What is he saying? He's nervous because he likes you. I'm like, what? And I look over at him and he's like, like, I was like, oh. I was like, what is his name? I can't remember his name. I was like, I'm married and I like vagina. And he's like, he's fine. He later gave me a Rascal Flaxseedy. So who came out the winner? Me, I guess. Yeah, good times. So it's been quite the weekend. And you know what? To top it off, I think we need to get into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Woo! Speaking of dick, a man got food poisoning in his dick. Wow. Hey, just a reminder not to have the stereo or your, speakers on while you're at the office, because I say stuff like dick. I say dick a lot. I say vagina. I say whatever. Okay? Somebody's going to get offended. That's all I know. Anyway, so for a week, this man had redness, swelling, and scabbing on his junk. And the doctors found bacteria usually found in rice that has been left out in a room, in room temperature for too long. Now, that bacteria ended up coming in contact with his genitals. I wonder how. So I'll tell you how, in case you're slow, and that's fine if you are. I'm slow a lot. His wife apparently ate nasty-ass rice, and then they banged. She chomped on his knob with nasty-ass rice in her mouth, and that's how he got the nastiness on his junk. The doctor said they've never seen this before, that he had a foodborne illness on his penis. Now, that being said, the dude's going to be okay. But there's a couple things going on here. One, she ate nasty-ass rice. And then two, wash your mouth out before you start getting it on, right? What are you, an animal? Come on. Just take a second. Be like, hold on. And go get some mouthwash, okay? Or at least rinse it out with water so you don't have like food on there. I don't want to be looking down on my junk after somebody, slobbers on it and be like, oh, did you eat some Chipotle earlier? Is that cilantro on there? Oh, I'll be dang. It's so gross. I'd be like looking down at it, be like, is that sour cream and onions and cilantro? What the heck is on there?
What the fuck?
How embarrassing for that lady. Now that you just look at her and you just be like, oh, God, she's dirty. Woman says that her butt lift filler left her infertile and is in constant agony and says, my limitations are severe. Here's my thing, people. You had a butt lift. Just stop fucking with your bodies. It's ridiculous. I feel like the majority of the time, ladies, unless there's like an accident or you're recovering from some nasty disease and you want to have some sense of normalcy, that stuff makes sense. But when people get like butt fillers because they're like, my man don't love me if I don't have a big ass. That's a great impression of a lady that wants to have a big ass. But listen, if your dude doesn't like you because you got a flat ass or it's just not big enough, go somewhere else. Somebody else will love you for who you are. Enough with that stuff. You're sticking shit in your body that's fucking you up. Is it worth it? Well, it is because he loves me now. That being said, I'm on constant painkillers and, I'm oblivious to the world because my body fucking hurts. Is it really worth it? I just have a hard time with that. There's just something about a natural woman. Oh my goodness. I love it. Ooh. I love it. I love it a lot. Oh yeah. We got more coming your way. We do. But first, High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge is just an amazing place to go hang out. It's like an alcohol bar, but it's for cannabis. Yes. If you partake in the greens, this is where you need to be. You got to swing by High Society because you can consume on site. In fact, you can purchase on site and then consume that and then take the rest home. How freaking cool. And they got a wide variety of products. So when you go over there, like I said, they got a wide selection of flour, pre-rolls, concentrates, and edibles, and they provide everything you need to consume it with, whether it's rolling papers or even bongs. And it's really neat. High Society also has 7 big screen TVs, and a little cherry on top for you. They got the NFL Sunday ticket. So guess what you get to do on Sundays? Go watch some football and get your mind right. How fun. How awesome. You can even do watch parties. Maybe your favorite team is playing your other favorite team. You could set up a party and have a great time. Just smoke some weed, watch some football. They also do Nintendo Switches available for rent. They got tons of free board games. They got a quarter arcade with pinball machines, vintage Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and more. It's an amazing place to go hang out. Every time I go in there, I'm just like, this is just fun. Just a good, relaxing environment. You got to check them out. They're open daily from noon to 10, and happy hour runs from noon to 4:20 Monday through Friday. By the way, Tuesdays is Ladies' Day. And ladies, guess what? Just a little gift from me, but mostly from High Society. You're going to get 20% off all day. So guys, take your ladies there. Great place. You're welcome. And hey, you're going to have a good time. High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge. It's just 9 minutes from Coors Field. It's open noon to 10, like I was telling you. You got to be at least 21 or older to go in there. No outside product. Just buy it there. High Society's at 7667 Washington Street. Just GPS to High Society. Another animal escapes a zoo. Thankfully, nobody was hurt in this one. But this one kind of scares me a lot because a while ago, several months ago, I played you some audio of there was a lady that was like a primate expert, and she was talking about the differences in gorillas, chimpanzees, and orangutan. And when she talked about orangutans, she was saying how they will dissect you just to see what's inside you. They're curious. And that's fucking creepy as shit to me. And at a Toronto zoo just the other day, an orangutan decides to take a stroll and escaped. Thankfully, nobody was killed. My goodness. I'm sorry. I saw that. There's nothing really else. I mean, it was essentially no harm, no foul. It just somehow got out and just took a stroll, and they were able to get it back into its enclosure safely. Nobody was hurt, not even the orangutan. But for a brief moment, he could have just gone over to somebody and was just like, how's that popcorn? Anyway, I'm going to rip your rib cage open. This is fascinating. Look at this. It's all gooey. Fucking humans. Am I right? So creepy. So creepy. A thief stole a 44-pound gorilla statue from a Melbourne retirement village, and the guy admits that he made a silly mistake, obviously. But the problem I have with that story is, why the fuck does a retirement facility have a 44-pound gorilla statue? Why? Why is it on the premises? That makes no sense to me. We got a good retirement establishment going on here, okay? Everything's good, but what are we missing? Todd, what are your thoughts? I think we need a giant gorilla statue in the middle of the courtyard. Todd, god damn it! You're so brilliant. Brilliant. It's really gonna make this place pop. Makes no sense to me. It's like, what? Maybe if you were in an environment like Melbourne, you don't think of gorillas, right? Unless you're at the zoo. If it was a kangaroo or a wallaby or a koala or something like that, yeah, that makes sense. No, not a gorilla. Fucking bizarre. They should have just let the guy keep the statue. Be like, you know what? It was a bad purchase. I was really high when I made it. Saw it on Amazon. Got to be honest. It got me. Fucking Jeff Bezos always gets me. Like, there's so many good deals on Amazon. Oh, a giant 44-pound gorilla? That would be great as you walk in to your retirement facility. It makes a lot of sense too, guys. You're like, I've retired. Hey, there's a gorilla. Yeah, it all comes together, right? And everybody's just looking at the boss and being like, that makes no fucking sense. Because it makes no sense. So ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita, if you don't know, is a real restaurant, and the owners of South Park well, I should say the creators of South Park purchased Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita is a famous Mexican restaurant in the Denver, Colorado area, and it was known for years as shitty Mexican food that you would get shitty entertainment with. And they have cliff divers jumping into this giant pool of water, and people would eat. The only thing that was good was the sopapillas. Anyway, the creators of South Park purchased Casa Bonita. It was a big undertaking. Like, they spent way too much money on it because the place was just a shithole. It was worse than they ever thought it would be. Anyway, since they opened the doors, I want to say last year, right around this time, it was invitation only. We got our invitation, and then we saw how much it would cost for a family of 3, and we're like, no, it's like 130, or excuse me, a family of 4. It was like $130 plus tax. And we're like, nah, no, we're not going to do that. It just doesn't seem right. And everything I've read from people and talked to people off the record, not on Facebook, a lot of people are saying the same thing. The food's okay. I know they hired an elite chef over at Casa Bonita, but everybody's saying the same thing. It's okay. That's not a good endorsement. You know what other Mexican food people say that it's okay? Taco Bell, okay? Taco John's, all those places. They're okay. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's what I'm paying for. And then everybody's like, "Yeah, but you get the entertainment with it." Yeah, I'm not hearing a lot of glowing endorsements in that realm either. And here's the thing. Honestly, I shouldn't take other people's opinions in this sense. I should make my own decisions and come to my own conclusion. But I just don't want to spend the money. I'm sorry. I feel like I could use that money elsewhere. But the reason I bring this up is I was telling you that it was invitation only. Well, now they came out and said on their website reservations will be open to everyone starting at 3 p.m. on September 16th. Okay, right around the corner. Reservations will be accepted for dates starting on October 1st. So if you want to go and you haven't been able to, get the invite prior, well, now you can go ahead and make reservations starting at 3 p.m. Denver time on September 16th. So if that's your thing, go ahead. You got more of a chance to get in there. And I'll go in there when I don't have to pay a butt ton of money. And maybe that's just me being cheap. And I remember last time I brought this up on social media, I was getting shredded for that. They're like, dude, you are a cheap motherfucker. It's about the experience. Yeah, well, the experience doesn't sound that great. I'm not being wooed. I know a lot of what their business is now is everybody going, it's curiosity. I just want to see what it's like. And it's like, I don't want to spend $130+ on curiosity for something that's like, well, was it really worth it? I don't know. I trust that it's better than it was, but I'm not hearing a ringing endorsement from anybody saying that it's worth your time and your money. Let's be honest. Like I've said, I'm a cheap bastard. I don't feel that that's worth anybody's time. So I won't go on and give it a nasty review because I haven't been in there. But as of right now, I don't feel the draw to go. I don't. That being said, I could go there tomorrow somehow, some way, and I go in there and I could be blown away. And then I'll be the first to tell you guys that that I am a fool. It was definitely worth going to. But I haven't seen one motherfucker on social media anywhere really give it a ringing endorsement other than the people that are trying to blow the the company and get some clout. That's it. That's the truth. You got to be careful when people are endorsing certain things. Why are they endorsing? Like think about politically. Why are they actually endorsing this political person? Because there's something in return for them. They're hoping for some sort of return. Unless there's something already written, be like, hey, you endorse me, guess what? You're gonna get this. Because I'm gonna push this through. So you got to be careful. Why are people endorsing things? And on some levels, it's not that big of a deal if you endorse it. But and to be honest, if somebody's going to endorse Casa Bonita, that's not the end of the world. What's the big deal? I mean, I guess that's apples and oranges when you're talking about endorsing a food establishment to political shit. Political shit's a lot more extreme. Boy, good thing I didn't bring that up and let that spill out of my mouth because that would have been dumb. Dumb. But yeah, I always see that with people that endorse. You got those influencers that are like, "This is great. I went over to Casa Bonita and it was fun. I had a blast. It's gonna be a great time for your kids. The food is top notch." Then you talk to those people off the air and off the record, and they're like, "Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I just did that because trying to make them happy, and hopefully I'm trying to work a deal with them." And you're like, "Come on, dude, stop, stop." I hate that. But maybe that's my problem. I just don't blow people enough. I need to go back up that mountain, see if I can find that dude. Hey, 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 you like to blow guys. What's your, I just pick his brain. Pick his brain. Okay. You just go up to people and start, blowing them, right? That's how you do it? Yeah, it works great for me. Okay. I don't know why I segued into that. Makes no sense, actually. The comparison, there's really not a good connection. There's no bridge. No bridge. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining the show. I really appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day. I'm gonna try to get this out. If not, it will be on Tuesday morning. Not that you guys care, but whatever. We're going to Top Golf after this, and that's not going to be fun because my body does not like that movement. My hips hurt, my knee hurts. I'm just a big ball of disappointment. That's what I am. That's what I am. But it should be fun. My kids will laugh at me. I'm going to cry afterwards. But they have good snacks over at Top Golf, so that it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. They have like this pretzel bites and stuff. Oh my god, totally worth it. Don't. Yeah. Okay. I'm good. I'm good. I'll just eat, guys, while you guys play. I'll just eat. That's my thing. Anyway, thanks for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. You're making this the #1 comedy podcast in Colorado. I can't thank you guys enough. This is so great. You guys are fantastic. And also, big thanks to FeedSpot for sending that information to me on a regular basis. And you guys keep doing your thing. I'll keep doing mine. And everybody listening, you guys are fantastic. My head's a little spacey today. Being up in the mountains kind of fucks up my head. Plus, I was drinking a lot yesterday with my wife's Uncle Sheldon. So, hey, if somebody's pouring Manhattans, I'm going to fucking drink them. Okay? Back off. Back off. Anyway, thanks to High Society Cannabis Dispo and Lounge, as well as Bet Online. Go to betonline.ag. It's the Huff Uncensored. You guys are amazing. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.